Hello, I'm Roger Webb and welcome to this Carveco Maker tutorial. This tutorial is for beginners, especially beginners interested in their first 3D relief model. Below this video, in the video description area, you will find a discount code for any of the 3 Carveco products, even the professional one. So this is the opening screen in Carveco and just gives you a listing of previous work that you've carried out. So we're going to start a new model and we're going to alter this to 300 by 300, and now this is the 00 or the G54 or the orientation start of the program. So you have a choice of putting it in 5 different areas: there, here, in any of the corners, or the center. This particular job, we're going to start down in this bottom left hand corner, which is fairly normal for a CNC router. As we're dealing with a 3D relief, I prefer to have the resolution all the way up as far as it'll go. Any Windows 10 computer is really fine with this. I work in millimeters and we press OK. And this is the opening screen. This is actually the 3D screen. I can tell because this is a yellow drawing pad then, which is what you use to do a 3D relief. Now if you were doing a VBIC carving or you was working with vectors, then you would go to a 2D window or pane. But as we're working in a 3D relief, we'll go to 3D view. Now you can either bring a relief in from somewhere else, but in Carveco Maker and all of the Carveco programs, there is approximately 500 reliefs that you can use for any of your projects. In fact, you can use multiples of these into one project if you wish. And I'll just scroll very quickly down through to give you some idea of the types of reliefs. And they're very high-grade reliefs as well. As you can see, there's many frames there. Okay, it goes on and on and on. Guns, cups, heads, flowers, roses, shells, and even textures. Textures can be very handy when you're doing some work, and different shapes and different things. There you are. There's over 500 there. I haven't actually counted them myself, every one, but I'm told there's 500. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back up here, and here we are. So we're going to start off with a frame. So we're going to bring the frame in here. I'm going to put it roughly in the middle. Now we're going to come over here to this area. Now this is where we can determine the size of that 3D relief. Now there's a couple of ways that you can actually bring this out to scale. You can either cut out of the handles and draw it up, or you can come in here and make it a particular size. Now if you want it if you don't want the aspect ratio to go out of shape, you can lock it just by one click. One click locks the width and the height, and the second click locks the aspect ratio in Z as well. So we want this to go the full size of our material, so we want 300. Okay, and it's going to take it up to 1 inch, just over 1 inch actually. Okay, so we're going to apply that, and I can see that it's slightly off center, which isn't any problem at all, because we can go here. Oh, this is one way of doing it. We can just say 150 because that's half the size of our material, and 150 here, 150, and that will bring it straight into the middle. Now what I did there, the measurement of 150 by 150, there is your 0 point there, and you can see there's a 0 in the Y, and there's a 0 in the X, so that's 0, 0. So what it's saying is, or what I'm actually doing is, I want the center of the 3D relief to be 150 in the Y, 150 in the X, which brings it bang in the middle of our material. So we want it to merge onto our material, and we press paste, and it's there. So I'm just going to bring the cursor over the top of the material, and I'm going to press the center scroll wheel down and hold it, and I can rotate it over, and I can see that it is actually a 3D relief. You can turn it around all over the place, wherever you want to go. And if you want to move this bodily, you just hover over the material and press left and right mouse key together, and you can move it bodily around. And if you get a little bit lost, or you want to get square on again, you come up to here, left click, slide over, release, and there you are. It's face view again. Okay, so now we want to find something to put inside here. A second relief. And what can we find? Oh, there's a Welsh dragon there. Chinese dragon. That might look quite nice actually. So we get the Chinese dragon. Oh, he's a bit big, but we're going to roughly go in the middle there. And this time I think we are going to manually reduce the size. So we've got the lock on, so this should come down equal. Let's just move him. So you catch hold of him and move him bodily over. And a little trick I like to do actually, sometimes, some reliefs you can do it, others you can't, is bleed the 3D relief over, so it actually looks as though it's hanging on to the actual frame itself. Now to do that, we're going to have to make him a little, take the lock off. So what I want to do is I want to keep the size of him as he is, but I want to make the Z a bit deeper. Now to do that, you take the lock off and you just choose a figure to come up in Z. So I'm going to zoom in down here. Go and look at these claws. I don't want to make him to go too far out of shape, so I'm going to bring him up to 9 millimeters, and I'm going to apply that. No, I'm not going to be able to do it, I don't think. Don't think it's going to work very well with this one, but hey, it's okay. Let's it's just not going to work with this one. Never mind. I've shown this effect on other in other tutorials that I've done, but I think the frame is just too thick, I think, here. Never mind, doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is put the lock back on again and make him a little bit smaller and bring him in. Maybe we can just get this claws just touching there, and have a very small effect of it. See what I mean? I'm trying to get the claws to come on to the edge of the frame here. Look as though it's crawling out at us. Not quite going to manage it. Never mind. I think you get the general idea. And we do need to change this because we want to put this second 3D relief on top of the first one. So we change this, so you just click through these and you can see the different ones to choose from. We want this one. You see, we're going to lay this 3D relief in blue on top of the original 3D relief underneath it. So we're going to paste it down. And there it is. Oh, we have got the effect. Just look at that. Look at that. That's what I was after. Yeah. Just so it looks as though it's starting to crawl out of the picture frame at us. Okay. Well, that's good. I don't think we need to put anything else in here. I think it'd make it too busy if we did. So we're going to call it a day. Our relief making is over, so now we need to machine it. So you can either come here and get to the 3D machining toolpaths, or you can come up to the top toolbar and come here and go to the 3D machining toolpaths. Okay, so we're going to do the whole relief. Now, this is already selected. So you have finishing and roughing. So we'll do the two together. They will come out separately when you we do end up with the toolpaths. Now for finishing, now these are pre-made in Carveco. So steel, hang on, let's wood, here we go, wood and plastic, that's where we want to go to. And there's a ball mill, and it's actually this is one that I've actually put in there. It's a tapered ball mill that I use as a finishing tool, 2mm tapered ball mill, so we're going to choose that one for a finishing tool. Now we need to, so what I'm going to do here is change this to 0. I want nice fine cut lines, so in other words I don't want to see any lines left when I've cut it. It's a finishing toolpath, so it's going to be close together, so it's 0.15. Step down, that's fine, there's only going to be that amount of material left. Now my router is a semi-industrial machine that I actually built myself. So we're going to say 60 millimeters per second cutting speed, plunge rate. This needs to be fairly fast as well. I normally do 50%, which is 30 millimeters, because when you're traveling along here, right, with the cutter, you know, it's like going up and down over mountains and ridges and what have you. So it's not 60 millimeters in a straight line. In this area from here to here, yes, it would be. But the machine will hold up, lift the tool, then move forward then drop the tool, then go up to full speed, then stop again, or not actually stop, it sort of holds up, lifts the tool, you get the idea. So if you have if your machine is able to sort of operate quite quickly or cut quite quickly, these are fairly realistic. This needs to be 24,000 RPM, because as you're moving very quickly through the material, you need to be able to spin the tool up very quickly to cut and evacuate the chips. And I've got a truck passing the property down the road. Sure you heard that. Okay, so actually this is going to be, it is right, this is tool number 2, because don't forget this is the finishing second cut. We don't, no, multiple Zs, that's okay. Nothing else to do there. Roughing. Choose a tool for roughing. 12mm. 12mm end mill. Oh, actually it's in the wrong section. My fault, made a mistake there. So we want to come down here to wood and plastic, and we want to go in here, ball mill, 12mm end mill. The only difference here is the actual feed rates. Okay. Now, if you are too aggressive with your feed rate, well, everything here, if you're too aggressive, you are going to have tear out. In other words, it could rip part of the material out here, and it could be where you want a 3D relief. So you need to be fairly conservative here. 3mm step over and 2.5mm step down. It doesn't matter whether it's hard or soft wood. If you go into aggressive, you're going to take material out where you don't want it to be missed. Feed rate, I'm going to say, I'll say 40. That will be just fine, because even though I have this at 40mm per second, I can reduce this down to 10% of that figure to start with. And once it starts cutting and you get to see, okay, well, yeah, that's cutting it just fine, bit slow, you can, in Mark III, you can speed that up to the full amount, or even actually 3 times this. But you can only tell sometimes when the material is actually being cut. Plunge rate, 10mm, I'm going to run for that. Spindle speed, 15,000 is about right. There again, you can alter that in Mark III. Now, this is, okay, lead-in moves, no, I don't think so. Add a ramp, yes. Ramp is fine. Add ramps, yes, we'll have ramps. In other words, what I'm saying here is when the tool comes into the material, it's going to zigzag down in like that, not just come in and go whoomp straight into the material. That's another area where you're going to get tear out. Maximum angle, that's fine. Plunge height, that's okay. Ramp angle, length 10mm, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to go with all that. That's fine. Let's set up the material. Material in this case is actually 40mm. Oops. that's right, 40mm. So we'll look at that again, because I pressed that without thinking and I was talking. Yep, that's fine, that's just fine. Okay, so toolpath name. So I'm just going to simply write this down as test number 89. Okay. You can put down anything you want. You can put down your tool, what the tools are. You can name your project, whatever you want to name it. I know what this means to me, so I'm now going to calculate it. Both toolpaths together. Okay, so we have a sea of red. So we can actually turn the toolpaths off just by opening the tool list up, and there you go, we can turn them off. Okay, so the next thing to do is to simulate this, simulate the machining of this. So we'll just come here, simulate toolpath. At the moment that's in either aluminium or silver, I believe. So what we can do is we can change that into something a little bit more desirable. Okay, so all I did was turn this area on. Let me see, that's in default, so we're going to open this up and have a look at the list in here. Well, actually it's going to, beach is quite nice. Beach horizontal, let's try that. There we are, that looks a little bit more of what we are doing, what we're making. Yes, I think I can go with that. Of course, you can have many different types of if you want light oak horizontal, we'll try light oak, but I think that's too goldy for me, so I prefer beach, or another one of my favorites personally is bronze. Actually, that looks pretty good in bronze. Okay, so the next thing to do is to save the toolpaths. So we just come up here, just press on toolpaths, and then this floppy disk, 3.5-inch floppy disk, will pop up. So we'll select that. Now this is the area where you can separate the toolpaths now. Obviously the 12mm tool there, that's the roughing cut, and then the ball nose, that's the finishing cut. So we're just going to highlight the ball nose, put it over there. So this is the one we're going to save. So let's cut 1, and it's a 12mm. So I'm going to make an end mill. Actual fact, desktop is fine, and we're going to save. That's as quick as that. Highlight, bring over, highlight, take back. So this one is second cut, cut 2, and it's a 2mm ball mill. G-code millimeter tap. That's a good all-rounder, Mac for Mac 3 or SMC, they all recognize that. So save that and close that, and that is pretty well it. Fairly simple, really, very methodical. Program is really easy to use. Once you get the hang of using some of the tools, it's really an easy process. So please like and subscribe, and if you really like what I'm doing, you could become a patron to my channel. Patron information is also down below this video in the video description area, alongside the Carveco discount code. So until the next time, thank you for joining me, and it's bye for now.